everyone who's watching who still has their mom, just, yo man, cherish those moments, make memories, build a strong relationship with your mother. If you don't have one, if you do have one, keep that relationship, make sure it's strong enough.
Hi there, Vee Gang, it's Agofi Moti and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming through to my channel, I'd like to say thank you so much for coming through. Remember to like, subscribe and comment, and if you're a regular subby, welcome back. This is day 19 of my 30-day filmathon where I'll be filming for 30 days on YouTube. Welcome to yet another episode on Sunday Special. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about grief, and we're going to be talking about how to deal with the loss of someone who's close to you. Joining me today is my dear friend Sakhile, and she's going to be sharing with us her story, her journey, her experiences after she lost someone who was close and dear to her. If you're interested in hearing more about this, stay tuned for more. I'll be right back. Subscribe. So Sakhile, thank you so much for coming through. You're welcome to the channel. Could you please tell us a bit about yourself, and could you please tell us a background story as to when you lost someone who was close to you?
Hey guys, I'm Sakhile and I'm 25 years old. I'm studying international business management in Poland, and it's quite an interesting place, if I must say. The program is really good, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I lost my mom on the 8th of January 2015 from a suspected heart attack. Something was going on in her heart, and she didn't know about it. We didn't know about it. She died. So, to tell you a bit more about when it actually happened. So, a little story. I was talking to my mom about school, and it was like we're having a conversation about where I should go for my university. And finally, we had actually agreed that I'm going to study hospitality. I did hospitality before this, what I'm currently doing. So we had decided that, yeah, I'm going to do hospitality. And now we were discussing about where I wanted to go. So I had a few options like South Africa. I wanted to go to Spain. I wanted to go to Switzerland. And, it was just basically we're having a conversation about that. She told me, no, okay, choose this place. I found this place. And she was sending me like links on like the schools to look at. And she was sending me like the application forms and all those things. And then she just stopped replying my messages. So I didn't think much about it because I knew that sometimes, she goes to bed or maybe she's like cooking or something. But I knew my mom never goes to bed without saying good night. But I guess because I was also like pretty stressed about the whole school thing, I just didn't think about it. Like, why is she quiet now? She was quiet. And this was on the 8th of January. So my family and I were only told on the 9th, the following day, obviously, that she had passed on. And the moment the moment we were told that unfortunately we have lost her, it was, wow. That's like, I can describe it as the worst moment of my life. When you just wish you could turn back time, like literally give anything to turn back time. That's what I was going through. And I remember I had like this hairstyle. I'd cut my hair, but I had like, a pixie cut, but in my hair I had like hair tracks or something. Yeah, I guess. And they were glued on. So I remember when we were first told, I literally stood up and I started screaming, and I ran up and down our passage in the house, and I pulled out the weave tracks. And my dad was so shocked, like, whoa, she's pulling out her hair, because he thought it was my actual hair. And then he starts panicking and no, it's okay. And I'm just screaming. But anyway, yeah, that happened. And then, and then throughout the funeral, I was what I guess one would say it is what it is. Like, I just literally, I got into that mode of it's happened and there's nothing I can do about it. But with that came with me not crying. So I never cried. I didn't think about it. I didn't, in my head, it was just, it's funeral, funeral, funeral. And my mom's funeral took long. Like, it took about 3 weeks. Yeah, because she was in Ethiopia. So she had to be, had a funeral there, then they had to have a funeral in Zimbabwe. So it took so long. So I just literally got into that mode of, people are just going to come to your house and I was numb. Yeah. And then, to cut the long story short, that numbness carried right through. I cried when they were sending her off, yes, but it was still just, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's not something that's not easy for anyone to accept, but yeah. Yeah.
How would you say you managed to deal with grief?
I don't think the question should be how I managed, because one can say, it's not something that it's past tense, like I've managed to deal with the grief. It's something that goes on every day. Like, honestly, I would never wish it upon my worst enemy. I don't have one, but I mean, if I had one, to lose their mother or their father, because it's someone that's literally, you cannot replace them in your life. You can have mother figures in your life, but that one person that's actually your mother, no one can ever fill that gap. So it's a very hard process to go through and to grieve. And I think as the African culture, you're not taught how to grieve properly. You're taught to cry. And at funerals, you get the adults saying, "Ungakhali, ungakhali," which means don't cry, or some would say, "Hi, sisi, zibambe." That's like, get yourself together. And it sounds rude, but it's I think it's rude. It's rude. But it's because people don't know what to say, and you don't realize that those words actually hinder your grieving process, because people are encouraging you to not cry. People are encouraging you to be strong. And it's like, no one ever says it's okay to not be strong. I mean, I lost my mom at a young age. I lost her when, I hadn't even gone to university. I'd finished high school, but there's so many more things that I've gone through without her that I feel if I had her, I would have made better life decisions, or I would have, felt okay at some points in my life. So grief, guys, it's still going on. For me, I have days when I just break down, or I have days when I can pull myself together, like they say. I have days when I realize that I really have to be strong for myself, and I can't keep it holding back. Another way that I can say I managed was to, think of the good times I had with her and hold on to that, and just relive them, or talk about her. With all the good things she achieved in her life, or all the good things that she did, or all the fun times that we experienced with her. And yeah, and also I have an older brother, so I'll talk to him, although he is, I feel he is going through a lot. But yeah, we talk, and I feel that because he understands what I'm going through, understand what he's going through, it's easier to talk to someone who gets where you're coming from, and who gets who you're talking about, and who gets the relationship that you had. Because my brother and I were both really close to our mom, like best friend kind of vibes. So yeah.
Is there a support structure that you would say helped you throughout this process of healing and grieving?
So in the grieving process, you know, everyone has some form of structure, some form of mechanism, or some form of method that's placed. No, structure that's there to support you. I can say it's my family, like I said, my brother, and my extended family, of course, my cousins, my dad, friends as well. And you know, it's prayer. But I want to say this, guys, and I want to say it from a really honest point of view. There's a time when I literally just, I wasn't angry at God, no, but it was like I'm in pain and nothing is making sense. And it's just like, God, why am I going through this? Why me? Like, why me? And the why me is not like, why not that person? It's just literally, why me? Why anyone? So I went through a time when I just fell apart, and it was, I had no faith to hold on to. I started feeling like I'm bothering my family when I keep, you know, calling every day. I'm crying, it started to feel like I'm a burden. It started to feel like there is no way out. But every now and then it becomes clear that no, you do have people that check up on you, and you do have people that genuinely ask you, are you okay? How are you doing? You know, I know today's mom's birthday, are you okay? I know today's Mother's Day, and everyone's like, happy Mother's Day, are you good? Are you keeping up? If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. And that's always really nice to hear. Of course, you know, I'm not just gonna be like, yes, I need to talk. This is what I have to say. Because it's really difficult, because I don't know what to say myself. Like, doing this video right now is so hard because I don't know what to say. Like, and I don't know how to answer the questions of how do you deal with grief, because now I start to ask myself, have I dealt with it? Or what's your support structure? Because then you ask, what is my support structure? Okay, I do, you know, things like that. But yeah, and you just really need to lean on the people that love you. And sometimes people fall into toxic relationships with friends, with boyfriends, with whatever. But when that happens, you need to, you know, not search for that love that you had, that you used to get from your loved one, not search it elsewhere, because that person is not replaceable. So you can't find that same love elsewhere. And yeah, it's still like a learning process for me. But yeah.
What would you say to someone who's going through the exact same experience, or it may be different, but someone who's going through a loss of someone close to them?
So what I can say, or my words to a person who has lost a loved one a long time ago, yesterday, today, at this moment, or someone who is going to lose someone special, just there's no easy way of going through it, you know, and just trust the process, trust that God has your back. You are not in this alone. It may seem like it sometimes, but it's not the end of the world. You are not in this alone. And if you just take it one step at a time and not try, you know, do everything at once, like forget about the person and stop crying and stop thinking about them and stop doing this, don't do that. Just take it easy. Take one day at a time. Also, this is not part of the question, but a word to someone who wants to comfort someone that's lost someone is don't tell the person, you know, it's okay, because it's not okay. It's really not okay, guys. Honestly, I feel like the best thing to ever do is to just sit with the person and, you know, hug them and keep quiet, or just ask them you know, if they need to like let out some steam, just let it out. But don't, if you don't have anything to say, don't say anything, because that's when you end up just saying things like, you know, it's not the worst thing that you're going through. Think about it. You could be going through worse. What? No. Could be going through worse. No. Yeah. So, and just be like strong. And to everyone who's watching, who still has their mom, just, yo, man, cherish those moments, make memories, build a strong relationship with your mother if you don't have one. If you do have one, keep that relationship. Make sure it's strong enough, because no matter how old you get, no matter how successful you are, you will always need your mom. And your mom is like your biggest fan ever. And this is even, you know, some people who don't have relationships with their moms, or some people that don't know their moms. Anyone who is in that position of that person that's responsible for you, person that cares for you, or your friend or your cousin or your aunt or your guardian, whoever it is, just like cherish the moments you have with them intentionally, not just, yeah, I love them, you know, like proper, like showing them love. Yeah. Because when the day comes and they go, or whatever it is, or something happens, you start to think back, and you can never like do enough, but you start to think back like, you know, I just used to, you know, like really acknowledge the person, or just like, ah, hey, and take advantage of them that they're around, but now they're gone. Yeah. The time, I think it was 2 weeks, must have been exactly 2 weeks before I lost my mom. I had a dream that I had lost her, and the dream wasn't direct, like, you know, like she's dead and we're at a funeral. It was literally, everything was okay. The dream was fine. The dream was, I have a nephew, so the dream was my nephew, I was carrying my nephew, and I dropped my nephew, and he hit his head, and he, you know, his head started bleeding. And so my mom rushed him to the hospital, but apparently she never got to the hospital. And then my nephew, in my dream, my nephew comes back to the house, but my mom is not there. And suddenly our house has a lot of people, and people are crying. And then in the dream, I start to think it's my nephew that's dead. So I start crying like, oh my gosh, did I kill him? Did I what? And then I see my nephew and I'm happy, and I'm like, oh, thank God you're okay. But why is everyone here? And then I start to ask, where's my mom? And no one's answering me. Like, no one's telling me where my mom is. So in reality, what happened was no one told me my mom had passed away. And, you know, everyone knew until later on. And another thing is, when she passed away from the heart attack, she fell and she, you know, hit her head. And I'm not saying anyone who dreams of their mother dying, this is what's going to happen, or any loved one dying, this is what's going to happen. I'm just saying. So, you know, when I woke up, I was like, I told my one of my best friends, like, dude, I dreamt mom was dead. And she's like, dude, I would never be able to handle that. And we all started talking about like, wow, that's a lot, bruh, you know. And I was like, Sat, nah, that can't happen. It can't happen. And then it happened. And when it happened, it was like, wow, it happened. The reaction I thought I was going to have when I dreamt about it was not what I did. It wasn't what I did. But why I'm telling you this is because sometimes people always have this thing of, yeah, you know, don't worry. God will never give you things that you can't handle. And I don't believe that. I don't believe God killed my mother. And I don't believe God gave my family death so that because he knew we could handle it. You know, God doesn't hurt people. So don't ever think that you're going through something because God thinks you can handle it. Yeah, of course there's some obstacles in life that happen as a learning curve, but not permanent pain. God doesn't cause permanent pain to you and inflict it onto you, and because he thinks you are strong enough and he thinks someone else's mother is still alive because they can't handle. No, that is not true. I don't know who needs to hear that, but it's life. It's the, you know, the devil comes to kill, destroy, steal, kill, and destroy. And yeah, so it's not God. So just like stay strong, man. Yeah. Thank you. I hope what I said is helpful to someone.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of our video. Thank you so much, Sakhile, for coming through and sharing with us your journey. I know it must not have been easy, but thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us today. I truly appreciate you. Vee Gang, I hope you guys learned something. I definitely learned a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in day 20 of my 30-day filmathon. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Mwah! God bless you. Bye.